Hey, good evening, everybody. It is 6:11 p.m. on your Wednesday evening. Want to go ahead and point out as we are looking at the radar right now, I don't see any warnings popping up right now. Wouldn't be too surprised within the next little bit. Been keeping an eye on about the 6 p.m. hour, 6 to 8:39, somewhere in that ballpark tonight, for any strong to severe storms to get going. So let's just kind of recap what has happened right now, just so that everybody is aware. We do have a tornado watch that was just issued for all of our area. This is just going to cross the state line and pick up Paola, Lacine, Mound City, down to Girard and Pittsburgh over on the Kansas side, clear down to the corner of southeast Kansas. But this is going to pick up Joplin and all points in west central Missouri. This is going to go until 1 a.m. tonight for eastern Kansas and southwest Missouri. Primary threats tonight included in this bulletin. We're talking about a couple of tornadoes being possible. We do still have a setup that's actually getting started right now that could lend to that. So that's exactly what we're keeping an eye on. But I think the more predominant threats are scattered large hail, very large hail, due to the isolated and elevated nature of some of these storms. If they can get rooted along the front, which I'll show you in just a second, is just really right overhead for us, then those things all become possible, as well as damaging wind gusts, possibly between 50 and 70 miles per hour tonight. So this is what we've been kind of watching all day long. Here is that front, and that is parked out not quite as far south as we were hoping in this morning's forecast, right? So it's that cold front that has turned around now, has become a warm front as it has brushed back up over our area here, and it's allowed all this warm air and moisture to gather up into the area. So that's what has kind of happened. And so I agree with this watch, and I think we need to be vigilant through the evening. And then we do have that second round that's going to show back up later tonight, and I'll show you what that's all about here in a few seconds. So appreciate you being on here. Feel free to comment if you have any questions or areas that I don't cover. If I know the answer, I will definitely tell you. And I will hang out with what is going on right now for a little while until we can see what some of these storms might do. So we'll just kind of go right into the middle of the area right now. And right here around Butler, I do have a non-severe clustered thunderstorm. This has just passed over Foster and New Home, and this is just headed right for Butler, actually. So you got the first wave, and the first cluster has already passed over Butler right there. And give it about another 10 to 12 minutes here. And the second, a little bit stronger, back end of this will be impacting Butler directly, looks like. So we do have this storm just off to your southwest. It is non-severe right now, but like I say, what is going to happen in this cluster, in this first round of these clustered thunderstorms, is some really heavy downpours, probably some strong gusty winds. I do see radar returns giving me some indication that winds are starting to gust there in Butler, but you guys can definitely having a thunder and lightning show around the Butler area right now as this pushes off to the northeast. So that is that little storm. Actually, that thing has been like it is for about the last 30 minutes. Started out over here around Fort Scott and worked through Rich Hill. It's just taking its little sweet time. It is moving at let's see, it's not very fast. I've been watching it what feels like forever. 33 miles an hour. It's picked up a little bit. So that's going to pick up. Where's that going to wind up? Let me kind of scroll out just in case that thing turns a little bit stronger. But like I said, I've been watching it for a little while. So this is going to wind up impacting out here around Dayton, the conservation area. It's going to make it out towards Creighton, Garden City. So it's going to possibly all around the conservation area. Aaron, Maysburg, looks like it might just slide to the north of Ballard area for that little cell that's getting going right now. So we'll kick that one out of here. Over on the Kansas side, kind of the same situation. Looks like a good thunderstorm is just coming into Osawatomie right now. So you guys can see with the white lines that I've put up for tonight to kind of help us out. This is just going to head right for Paola. So within just a few minutes, right, it's going to wind up in Paola. It says 15 minutes, but I'd say it's about 10 minutes maybe. This is going to be knocking on the doorstep there in Paola. Again, not severe at this time. These are just strong thunderstorms that we are watching for tornadic development. Don't really like it when they start to pull apart like this and take on some of these shapes that we can see some notching. So plenty of things to keep an eye on tonight, but as of right now, just seeing strong thunderstorms. So that the Kansas side is actually where I was looking for things to grow upscale, and they have not issued a watch for you guys over there yet. So a little bit more favorable conditions wind up over here in west central Missouri. But you guys do still have some strong storms over there, even outside of the watch area. So here's a storm coming into the Garnett area right now. All these are going to have possibly some hail. We'll go back and look at hail in just a couple of minutes. Possibly some large hail, especially the closer that you get up here to the front, which is actually right here. Let's go ahead and tell you where that is, because I think that's the area we'll be talking about. This is laying right over Osawatomie on the Kansas side, and Drexel, Archie, as we move over to the east, over towards Creighton. So that's where the front is parked out right now. So that's an area for us to be watching. So let's go back over into west central Missouri. We'll go down here south of Eldo. And here is a good strong thunderstorm. Let's actually look at hail in this just to kind of give you an idea of what has happened with some of these storms. They're going to be very, very similar as these things move through. So here is a good hail core down to the southeast of, directly south of Olympia. So Osiris, Zodiac, you guys are going to get possibly some large hail, and this is moving off to the northeast as well. So this whole thunderstorm, we'll go ahead and bring that back up. Let's see if that's going to pick up El Dorado Springs. Sure looks like it. Let's put a little cone. Yeah, so El Dorado Springs and points to the east of Eldo. So about 20 minutes. It's about 12 miles away from you right now in El Dorado Springs. It's going to get out here by Coal Hill and Lebec. Here's Oz Road down here in Eldo. Going to also work its way up here towards New Oyer, I think, and Monegaw Springs. So you guys are in the path of a strong thunderstorm right now. Again, keep saying strong because these are not severe warned. That's a good thing, but do expect some hail and some very heavy downpours. Look at the size of this thunderstorm right now. So yeah, picking up Virgil City right now with this thunderstorm. Again, not severe warned at this time, but just once again, if you're jumping on here, I will go ahead and take the radar off. This is what we're talking about tonight. This area here in the yellow is our tornado watch through 1 a.m. But as it points out, tornado is not our only threat. We're talking about scattered large hail, some possibly very large hail, up to 2.5 inches in diameter. Possible because these are possibly some very elevated thunderstorms that we're talking about tonight. So here's what is going on presently. You can see all of these are working off toward the north-northeast. So let's actually take a look at the second round. We're going to say that these are kind of stable for the moment. We're watching them. But so let me do a couple of checks right here that just kind of confirm. Yeah. We'll keep watching these, and this is how it's going to be all night tonight for some possible rotation. See some really big upper level, some broad rotation going on around Montevallo, I think, south and west of El Dorado Springs. So we'll check back on that storm in a little bit. Right now it's heavy downpours and a good hail core in that storm right there. So let's flip over and see what happens as we go through the rest of the evening. So like I say, this is showing us what happens about 7 p.m. So this gives me confidence when the model shows almost exactly what is happening. So let's actually go ahead and play this forward. You guys can see that as we get up to about 8 p.m., this track is just going to continue from the southwest. And so I see another cluster of thunderstorms trying to be linear. So we might be talking around 8 p.m. about Archie, Butler, Rich Hill, right up and down the I-49 corridor here. So this is where we transition out of those small clustered cells that might be discrete, semi-discrete like they are right now, which are our stronger tornado threat, but you can still have things like this concern me if we were actually going to see this on radar, which, by the way, this is a model. This is not right now. If you're just jumping on here, this is around 8 p.m. tonight, where we can see some of these little notches. We can have spin-up tornadoes embedded in the line. The good thing about those, if there's anything good, is that they're typically short-lived. So that's a plus. We start to shift from less of a long-lasting tornado threat as they're anchored on the front and more into damaging straight line winds. So if something like this bears out around 8-9 o'clock tonight, we're going to be paying attention to more of a wind threat with maybe those smaller embedded. But look what keeps going. This is New Zulu time. So this is up to about 10 p.m. tonight, 10, 11. There is 11 o'clock. There's midnight. Here is that line segment I kind of been watching. So here's another one that starts. This is at around midnight tonight. So this stuff just keeps pumping out of the southwest, right? But here are these linear systems that we're eventually going to transition to tonight, are going to give us more of a threat for those damaging straight line winds. So again, this is about midnight tonight. We'll keep going. Starts to break apart after midnight, but we're still dealing with some small clustered thunderstorms. But it's going to chew up all the instability that is out there eventually. So at some point, these are just going to settle down to probably some strong thunderstorms, but some really heavy downpours. So that's what we have left to go through tonight. I'll kind of do that one more time. Here we are about now, and you guys can see it just keeps coming out of the southwest. Here's possibly an uptick around 10 o'clock tonight. And then there's just what starts to organize maybe into more linear. We're going to watch between 11 and midnight tonight. So all that to get through. We have a fairly quiet Thursday, and then except for eastern portions of the forecast area, not sure if I'll get into that tonight, but and then we start to do this exact same thing again on Friday. I think it's a little bit more limited. It's that linear stuff on Friday, as opposed to this great big huge messy system that we're dealing with tonight. So let's go back to live radar right now. Let you know what's going on around the area. Just one more time, I'll pop the radar data off. You guys can see this is where the tornado watch is tonight. This is going to go till 1 a.m. It's picking up Cass County over towards Warrensburg and Sedalia, clear on over to Lynn Creek, but picking up all of west central Missouri again through 1 a.m. So put on the radar data. We're just dealing with some clustered thunderstorms. It's these little discrete cells that pop up like we're having right now just around Bernal that's headed towards Moundville. We're going to keep an eye on these. Watch them for rotation. We are in that tornado watch for this very reason tonight. So good strong thunderstorm down here to the south, and well, now picking up Eldo and Pacetown and Olympia. Let's go ahead and put hail up here because that is really our primary threat. Depends. There we go. Buttons got moved around. So that's actually dropped off a little bit in the last couple of scans, but we are still seeing some small hail out here in the Olympia area. And that's going to push off towards the northeast here, pick up Eldo. Maybe the worst of the hail will slide off to the east of you folks out there in Eldo. So that's what's happening down there with that storm. So we'll go out here. We'll kind of put the whole thing in motion so you guys can see these little, they're cropping up fairly quickly, these little discrete cells. So that's what we're watching. This is 6:30 coming up on, and so we're going to be watching this until about 8:30 or 9 o'clock tonight for these annoying little pop-up cells to see what they do. So, but if I stop the radar right now and do a little bit of investigation, we might start paying attention down here around Osiris. So like I said, this is not tightly wrapped rotation, but I think that's 2 or 3 scans now that I've seen. Something trying to get organized down there. It's going to take a lot more than this, though, but not outside the realm of possibility there. So we'll actually do a little bit of 3D scanning here. So there's some you can see it. It's still daylight outside, so you might be able to see some very elevated rotation up there, but this is really high. This is getting up to like 18,000 feet. So we're not talking about anything touching down or trying to yet, but there's enough stuff trying to wrap up. We'll keep an eye on that down here. And let me check a couple of other things. Yeah, so this will be the one to watch. All eyes on that for just a little bit. If there's anything that's getting together, it's down here in this area out to the east, southeast of Olympia. But right now, just a strong thunderstorm, and the hail was actually starting to fall out of that a little bit. So that's a good sign. But we'll keep watching on that one down there. So let's go over here to the Wablo neighborhood, and you guys can see this little storm over here is picking up Elkton right now, so we'll give a little heads up out here towards Galmy and Hermitage. This one will get to the Hermitage neighborhood when? Let's see that in 20 minutes for the Hermitage neighborhood. Just a strong thunderstorm. I bet there's some significant hail in that one as well. Let's check that out. Sure enough, there's a little hail core right outside of Flemington right now at County Road 358. So not outside the realm of possibility with any of these storms at all as we go through the evening. So good evening to you, everybody. We're just kind of watching this setup right now. This is a bit, it's one to watch. This cluster down here is a little concerning. But again, I haven't seen anything that gets me super excited, but it has been a little bit threatening just for a minute there. So if anybody has eyes on this down there, has pictures you guys can see up into the clouds, I'd be kind of curious about this one. This one might start to look a little bit scary, but so if I subtract off the forward motion of the storm, we can isolate areas that are trying to spin. It makes it a little bit easier because it takes everything out, but just the specific forward motion of this storm. So this is an area we'll pay attention to down here for just a little bit. This is not tightly wrapped rotation. That's a good thing. So, but that one keeps trying to get our attention kind of on the backside in this little notch down here south of Olympia. So we're talking about Pacetown and Philly up here in your neighborhood. This thunderstorm is strong regardless what it does. It's not severe warned, but let's see what pops up in your area out here. This is going to hit South 901 Road, East 900 Road, County Road 925, if any of these are in your neighborhood. You have a good, strong, broad thunderstorm that you can probably see and hear about this time down here in your area. So that's what we have down there. Let's go back up here. And again, not severe warned. It's a good thing. Just a strong thunderstorm right now over Butler. So I always know when people jump on real quick. What town? So it's Butler. I'm talking to Butler people probably. So good evening to you folks. This is just a strong thunderstorm. Let's check out the hail situation with this. So that's actually decreased. So it might see just some on and off, really small hail that's not quite to Butler yet. So it's just out to the south of Butler. There's the railroad right there. Here's Rice Road. So it's coming in along the railroad, South Orange Street. So maybe a little bit of hail out there. Like here's Walmart. And here is Rice Road, where Rice Road comes in. There's South Orange. So if there is any hail, it's down here, and it's just headed in right along South Orange right now in Butler. So other than that, you're just about to be done. But I bet it is a crazy downpour right now. In fact, it looks like the heaviest rain is right over Walmart. Look at that. So what a time to be at Walmart. So there you go, as a strong thunderstorm works through your area. Again, not severe warned. How's everybody doing tonight? It's great to have you on here. It's just going to be an interesting night, you know. We just didn't have enough rain this afternoon. It was cloudy, but the warm front, which is right up here, data doesn't quite know what to do with it. It's a warm front that's been pushing north, and unfortunately, it just dragged a bunch of, obviously, warm air, which allowed for moisture up in here, and it just... up in here has built instability, has lent plenty to these storms. So honestly, they're all underneath severe limits right now. We're not even talking about damaging wind gusts. I'm sure there are some gusty winds. If there are, it's out here to the west of Stockton, but nothing getting me overly nervous for that. So just some strong thunderstorms pouring into the area, but we will just watch for any continued development. And then we eventually shift to a little bit more of a linear threat. These are just going to keep going. So sun goes down, some of this instability gets chewed up. Ought to be a good sign. Eventually we're going to drop out to heavy rains overnight tonight, upwards of an inch for most of our area. But we have quite a bit more to get through before we get into that category. So let me do that one more time just to show anybody that's popped on here what we're going to deal with later tonight. Here's what's going on right now on model data. It's pretty accurate. So if I bump up to about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, you can see it just keeps showing up. And so we have all kinds of things that could develop in a system like this. It's going to hit from I-70 there at Odessa all the way down here to Archie, Butler, Pleasanton, Iola over on the Kansas side. This is about 10 o'clock tonight. So not out of the woods completely then. This is the stuff that concerns us for damaging straight line winds. I see this showing up between 11 and midnight tonight. Again, this is forecast data. This is not what's happening right now, y'all. But, you know, these little linear segments is where we start to talk about damaging straight line winds. So stuff like this has been showing up in our data all day between like 11 and midnight tonight. So we'll be watching that to see what is left in terms of instability that the atmosphere gets to deal with as we go through the overnight hours. So it does eventually get out of here. There's about 3 a.m. So, I mean, I would think that here around 1 or 2 a.m. we would really be done with the severe stuff, if not well before. It just depends what all happens before then. So, all right, here's live radar one more time. Just go ahead and let you all know, no warnings out right now. No warnings. Just this watch through 1 a.m. That is a tornado watch. So this is just the right environment for that. These are the right kind of storms. But nothing's been picked out yet. Weather Service not calling our attention to anything. Have seen a few things trying to rotate, you know, upper level down here. But by and large, we're getting through this period with no warnings. So that's what's going on right now. It is 6:34. So I think this is a good sign down here. We'll kind of do some looking around on this little cell that I was watching down here. Same kind of situation down here south of Philly. That's a interesting little storm, but let's take a look at the hail. I kind of wonder if hail is geared back up for you guys. Yeah, a little bit. Yep. Just ahead of that little area possible rotation I was seeing. So good hail core right now at south 675 road, south 725 road, south 541 road. So this is going to push off to the north and the east. I see east 930 road and south 901 road showing up on my map. So you guys are in the path of possibly some quarter size plus hail we could be talking about. Hard to say off of this right now, but that is not outside the realm of possibility for you guys. Let's play that and see. Yeah, that was just kind of picked up in the last radar scan. So within the last 5 minutes, you guys are now experiencing significant hail. So heads up for that out here in the Ivy community for hail, and out here around Kaplinger Mills. This storm is headed your direction. It is putting down some hail along with torrential downpours at this time. And look at the lightning show that's happening down there too. So we'll keep watching this. This is a storm that does bring us concern in a tornado watch area for some big, it's got work to do before it is truly concerning, but it might be trying to get there. So we'll just be watching this entire area right now. And again, this is headed off to the north-northeast along our white line right here. So this is where we're kind of paying attention right now for tonight, you guys. For this part anyway. Let you guys kind of watch the big radar there. Off screen, I'm going to do just a little bit of investigation on another radar product here and see if I can uncover anything that I haven't seen so far or that nobody else sees. So, yep, here we go. What was that? Severe thunderstorm warning now as this little cell just continues to encounter instability enough to give us a severe thunderstorm warning. For this area, we're talking about winds possibly up to 60 miles per hour. This thing is going to kick out for 1 more hour. Some radar indicated hail. We know that. We've been watching that for about the last 15 minutes, right? And yeah, maximum hail size up to 1 inch and the wind threat. Maximum wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. So let's go ahead and take a look at this area. This is the storm that has just passed over Philly, the community of Philly, and this is headed off to the northeast. So talking about a bunch of county roads out here. I see South 901, South 775. That's where things are right now. So let's go out here and give a heads up along South, or this looks like East 620 Road, 570 Road, and 550 Road. This strong thunderstorm, which is producing hail, maybe up to 1 inch, and some strong wind gusts up to possibly 60 miles per hour, is headed your direction. These are little spots on the map, except Kaplinger Mills, right? So let's go ahead and see some times on this. So Kaplinger Mills, about 12 to 15 minutes. This storm is about 7 miles away from you. Blackjack, if Blackjack is your neighborhood, you guys have about 22 minutes. The storm is about 11 miles away from you. And let's keep going out here to Rookins. Rookins, 25 minutes. Claude is about 29, maybe 30 minutes out from this storm. So Hardyville, around 30 minutes. Collins, Missouri, around 30 minutes for this strong storm. Currently, once again, producing up to some 1 inch hail and also some wind gusts up to around 30 miles per hour. Yeah, winds are ramping up. Let's go ahead and take a look at where that hail core is right now, as this is our storm of concern for this evening. So that is right over Philly right now, headed for Ivy. So yep, we're possibly going to see that up to quarter size hail headed your direction out here in the Ivy and Kaplinger Mills in the next 10 to 12 minutes. So heads up to you guys. That's some significant, possibly damaging hail. So take cover. And if you're out here to the northeast, you have just a few minutes. I think it's a good idea to get out of the way of this busy little storm. So I think that is it. I don't think I've heard anything else tick off. No, in terms of warnings. So we'll go back up here and talk about Adrian just for a second. This is a good strong thunderstorm. Looks like there might be some small hail in it, or there was. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, if there is any small hail right now, it's over Passaic, and it's headed out here towards like 9004 Road, 1004 Road up here, or 11,004 Road, for some possible hail. So skipping just to the other side of I-49 here in just a couple of minutes. So just a strong thunderstorm. It's not severe warned at this time, and I don't see anything else to be concerned about there. It's going to have some gusty winds and some heavy downpours in that, maybe a little bit of smallish hail. So heads up towards Garden City. That's headed your way next. We can talk about Nevada. It just has a little cell. There's probably a little bit of hail in that as well. Again, I don't see anything there to be worried about. We got to watch these little cells, but I think I can just let you know. Heads up to Nevada. When does it get to you? It's got to be just a few minutes. Nevada, it says 21 minutes. I don't know. I'm going to say that's about 12 to 15 minutes. It's 11 miles off to your south and west there in Nevada. Just a strong thunderstorm right now, not severe warned. So take some ease in that. We continue to watch around El Dorado Springs, out here to the southeast of El Dorado Springs. This is our strongest thunderstorm. This has been severe warned for about the next hour for some hail up to about 1 inch. And this is about to Kaplinger Mills. There was a good size hail core in this just a few minutes ago. And it's going to miss Hackelman Corner, but you guys will have some rain. Looks to me like we're going to intercept Rookins, if that is your neighborhood. There's a new scan. We're picking up speed maybe too. So Rookins, Birdsong, and going to hit Collins. You guys are severe thunderstorm warned for the next hour for these strong wind gusts and hail. Watching it also for some rotation development. I think I see a little bit less of that than I actually don't see much of any right now. That's great. So maybe we're popping down to just a strong thunderstorm with some hail right now. That's a good sign. It is still rotating, but I'm not overly concerned down there right now. So it's just one to keep an eye on. Strong thunderstorm more than anything else. What's going on where you guys are? Like everybody, it's good. This is weird. This first round, there's places absolutely nothing is happening right now. So, not everybody is going to see the same stuff. I mean, out here in Rich Hill, you just have another little thunderstorm. You had one a little bit ago, 20 minutes or so. I don't think that was really any big deal. Adrian, you don't need me to tell you there's a thunderstorm there right now. So it's going to be hit and miss, but it just won't take much in this environment for these storms to pick up and gather enough steam to go severe. But all of them just strong enough to be talking about right now, I think. But over in Clinton, you guys are chilling. You might see some stuff later. Watch how this stuff is all headed off to the northeast. So I think it is going to get to you in 30 minutes or so. So that is our current situation. We have one active warning. We have a tornado watch until 1 a.m. We have one active warning that we're down here talking about the Kaplinger Mills neighborhood with this strong storm. It's tried to do some spinny stuff, but it hasn't gotten it together. It's just a strong thunderstorm, but the hail in that has probably been around quarter size. It's headed off towards like the Wablo neighborhood is what we're thinking on this one right now. So big thank you to Renee LaRosen of Homeland Realty sponsoring tonight's severe weather coverage. You can check Renee out on all the socials if you have questions about buying, selling, investing. I mean, it's nice to have somebody that knows the area that you can just ask questions to. Renee's a great person to talk to. A lot of people know that. So you can just ask your questions if you're thinking about something, got something in mind, or you just want to invest. Give Renee a call. So love it when people commit to local weather. So your weather coverage tonight is sponsored by Renee. So appreciate that very much. Here again, live radar. We're keeping an eye down here in the Kaplinger Mills neighborhood on this strong storm. Let's kind of do our due diligence and see if we have signs of any more distress. I mean, there is rotation in it, but there has been all along. But a couple of these products would help me identify if anything was trying to lower. And I haven't seen that. So if it has, it's been between the scans. But there is some rotation in it right now. So it's a good storm to watch. It's these back edges that will get you. Are tricky because you feel like the worst of the storm has passed, and it has in terms of the heavy downpour and the hail. You guys can see that right now over East 570 and East 550 road. You guys are having a heck of a thunderstorm out there, but it tapers off, and these back ends can be concerning sometimes, especially when they start to take that shape. So we will just continue to watch this one right now. So I see generally good things, stable things, but really wish those colors would just change. That'd be great. So reason to pay attention right now, but it is moving along. What are we up to now? 25 miles an hour. It has slowed down since the last little bit. So let's go ahead and put some times on this one more time. Just because this is a strong storm with hail, if nothing else. So Rookins, this one's to you in about 15 minutes. Birdsong, this is to you in about 20 minutes. Collins, you're looking at about 30 minutes. This is slowed down a little bit. Wablo, if it catches Wablo, that's going to be in between 30 and 40 minutes, about 20 miles away from you guys, moving at 25 miles an hour, slowing down. So once again, lots of thunder, lots of lightning, lots of heavy downpours. One severe warned thunderstorm right now at 6:48 p.m. So we're getting through it. It's going to kind of be the name of the game until at least 8 o'clock. More stuff is on the way tonight. We're going to watch out for more linear threats. Been talking about that. So we got a ways to go. Not out of the woods. Nevada, is it starting to pick up down in your neighborhood? Do you just have a thunderstorm it's going to get you? I'm sorry. I don't see much hail in it, though. That's a good thing. So heavy downpour and a lot of lightning down there for you guys. Out here in Rockville, Shell City, guys haven't been immune. So Rockville, going to get a little thunderstorm headed your direction in a little bit. The non-severe warned cell out here to the west of Osceola, is going to cross the highway at Chloe, maybe. So that's got a few more minutes left before there's a strong thunderstorm that's going to hit. It looks like between Lowry City and Deepwater. We could go ahead and put some times on that as well. Oh, it gets to the Deepwater neighborhood in about 20 minutes. Hits Lowry City in about 13 minutes, about 11 miles away from you. If it makes it up to Clinton around the airport, that'll be about 35 minutes out on this thunderstorm. Again, talking about these like they're severe warned. They're not. So just that's a good thing. Hockelman Corner, as this storm is spread out a little bit, strong thunderstorm there. I think you're going to get in on this up here in the Blackjack neighborhood. And let's take a look at hail in that. It just looks like a mean hailer to me. It is. Whoa. What are we talking about here in terms of potential hail? So we may be over quarter-sized hail right now. So we may be up into the inch and a quarter stuff. This thing just has not let go. So if that's what's happening, it's out here at South 1201 Road. Looks like it's going to get up here to South 1301. Here is East 550 Road. batten down the hatches. That is some significant hail about to your neighborhood out here at East 500 Road. What a thunderstorm this one has been. It's not the colors that we want to see. Look how that has... I'm going to just stop this. Look how that has intensified. Darker colors. We had a good hail core there. Thought we were done. It's bouncing back. Yikes. Just off to the northwest of Kaplinger Mills. That's where you're going to find that. East 550 Road. So potential hail damage. That's what we're talking about out there for you guys right now. So continues to be our only severe warned cell as we come up on the 7 p.m. hour, y'all. I mean, it's tempting to think that we might get a little break between the rounds. That's what I'm flirting with. I wonder about. But, you know, let's look at this little cell down here that's come across the state line. Look how quickly that just kind of grew up as it comes into this little bit more favorable environment for severe storms. So even though I don't see any new genesis down here to the southwest, well, I mean, this is about where our favorable environment picks up. And so we've kind of got to watch from like Carthage, Girard, Kansas off to the northeast. That's our kind of target area for this round of storms. So I'm moving up in the radar scans just because I do see rotation. It's up there. I'm looking at higher and higher scans up into the atmosphere. So, you know, we only get one slice at a time, one scan, but nothing is close to the surface. So I've said that it is rotating, and it is, but it's just one to keep an eye on at this time. So, which we have been doing. Nothing has tried to drop, so. Good evening, everybody. If you're just popping on and off, I expect a lot of that tonight. I mean, I'm going to do the same thing, probably. So we'll just pop on and off as we need to tonight. But I am watching this cell down here in the Eldo neighborhood. It's actually out to the east of Eldo. Here's the neighborhood that we're talking about. This is just kind of, is it slowing down again? It seems like it's taking forever. Still around 25 miles an hour off to the east-northeast. Talking about the Blackjack neighborhood birdsong. The reason that we are is on account of this hail. Get a load of this stuff. Yikes. So maybe we're back down into the quarter size variety right now off of radar returns, but and it may be a little bit smaller than that. I switched radars, so we'll switch to a little bit closer radar where the shadow won't be so interfering. So maybe it hasn't been that bad, but it has the potential to be a good hailer. So again, you guys are severe warned out till Collins. You got about 35 minutes left to go. Let's take you up till about 7:30. We're talking about the potential for some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And again, that hail, but hey, we're in this tornado watch, so we're checking out for that as well. Continues to be our only severe warned storm at this time, so that is good news. Quite a bit of moisture. Precipitable water values were over like 1.25 inches. That was this morning. I don't know what's up now. It's probably more. So we really could get some significant rain out of this. Low-lying areas in particular. But as long as they stay clustered, you know, it's not going to be a problem right now. But with the stuff that shows up later on tonight, much more widespread heavy rainfalls return. It's like about 10 o'clock for sure across the area. So Let's hop back up to the KC radar. This thunderstorm right now is just spread out over Archie, Crescent Hill neighborhood, Colville, Altona, Aaron's, out towards the conservation area. Might be a little bit of hail in it. Little bit. That's a good sign. A little bit of hail. If there is going to be hail, it's going to be at Northeast 15504 Road. It's going to head out here to the west of Dayton along East 347th Street. Looks like it's going to miss Austin. Pick up a little bit of a trend on that. It actually looked like it was weakening, I think. Yeah, it is a little bit. So what was in that for hail might have fallen off. But heavy downpours for sure. Just about to the conservation area, Creighton, Blairstown. What is left of this little cell is going to hit up Blairstown, Chilhowie. So plenty of activity up in that neighborhood, but absolutely none of it is severe right now. Over here, south of Clinton, if you're driving up and down the highway, there's a thunderstorm just about to, it is crossing the highway. Look at that. Lowry City, although the bulk of it is off to your northwest along 201, 101, and 950 roads, but it is going to cross the highway here, right where we said, just south of Deepwater. There's your reservoir management lands right there outside of Brownington, so that's about prime real estate for a big thunderstorm right now. Don't see anything headed toward the Scout Reservation. I see rain, but not for right now. Maybe one of these little cells hits it in about 30 minutes. We get back down here to our severe warned cell. We can check this dude out again, and we'll go first and look at hail. Still see about the same. Man, it has missed Kaplinger Mills, but if there is any of that quarter-size stuff, it's out here along East 500 Road, up here to East 400 Road, Southwest 101. Blackjack community might be talking about you. So let's go back to reflectivity, and we'll see where we're going now. So let's see. Heaviest part is going to hit Birdsong in about 12 minutes. Get out to Collins in about 20 minutes. As the strongest of it is over Blackjack right now, this is a severe warned thunderstorm for just under the next 30 minutes, picking up Crook Springs now. So just out to your northeast, you guys are going to drop out of the severe warned area, but we'll see if that kicks out. It's still a strong storm. See if we can get an idea for wind gusts. I do see wind gusts kind of on the back end of this. So out here between Kaplinger Mills and Hackelman Corner, probably for some strong wind gusts at this point in time. Rotation really looks like it's falling apart. It's kind of still there, but I think I'm less concerned about that. So scattered thunderstorms, if you are still out and about, we got a long ways to go. It's only 7 o'clock. Are south of Harrisonville right now. And these are all just strong thunderstorms. They're not severe warned. I don't know how strong they really are. But if you're driving through Archie, boom, you're going to come into it. Just a heavy downpour right now. You're going to be out of it by Crescent Hill and Adrian. And all this is starting to push off toward the to the northeast. But between Butler and Rich Hill is socked in really good right now. I mean, it is pouring from Rich Hill to Butler almost for the next few minutes. So that is just a heavy downpour. But let's go ahead and track this one a little bit too. See where this winds up. So it makes it out to the southeast of Butler. Within about the next 8 minutes. The bulk of it might miss Butler proper. So, but like I say, it is not severe warned. It is just a heavy downpour, as is just about everything around the region right now. So, I don't know what happened. Comments all just jumped in. I thought that was weird because you guys always are awesome. You always tell me what's up. So, I don't know. Comments just dumped in all at once. I'll look into that in between live streams. So, Sadie, when did you say that? Is there a tornado on the ground in Miami County, Kansas? No. No. I don't see anything that makes me think that there is. There's a good cluster of little storms over there. But no, if there was something on the ground, I'd be really excited right now. I would tell you. So I don't know. Maybe there was something that looked like it was going to do something over there. It's not outside the realm of possibility. You are still in the watch. These are the little storms that can do that. So I'm guessing maybe that was a little bit ago that something looked concerning over there, but I don't see anything. Yeah. I know there's some stuff rotating over there, but that's just not uncommon with these isolated storms like this. So, but as for on the ground, no ma'am. Not at the present time. Ballard, my neighborhood. Good evening. Adrian area, yeah, I mean, you're just socked in. You're clear right now. That's cool. Let's go back over here. Yeah, but there's just more to come for you, for Harrisonville, Adrian Butler, Rich Hill. We're gonna get a little bit of a break. Cross my fingers, but by 9 o'clock, definitely by 10 o'clock, we're back in it tonight, and I think we're talking about more of a wind threat for your area tonight. So between Butler and Nevada is the bulk of the activity right now. Was talking about Nevada, Sydney a little bit ago. There's just isn't much to talk about except for a really strong thunderstorm, but it's not severe warned. There might be a little bit of hail in it. You probably asked a few minutes ago too, so nothing like a late answer, but there is just maybe some small hail still down to your south of Nevada, just about to like the hospital area. So, but it's just a strong thunderstorm. Don't see anything else. Yeah, there's some wind gusts. It's windy south of Nevada, isn't it? Around towards the junction. So, but that is going to be out of your hair in a few minutes. Current situation in Nevada. So I'll pay better attention to the comments. I'm sorry about that, y'all. I was not ignoring you. So we can hop back over and look at what comes next, if anybody's hopping back on, because, like I say, this is round one. It's been, pretty lackluster. It could have been a lot worse. So I'm not complaining. But let me put the radar in motion for you guys. You guys can watch. Let me go ahead and check out some up to the second forecast data, and I will show that to you next. Okay, so this is even updated from what I showed you at the top of the live stream. That's cool. A little bit of new information. It's not that different, but maybe there's some encouragement toward the later stuff. So this is not current radar. I know it looks like it. This is data. This is forecast data for what is maybe going to happen around the 8 o'clock hour is what I'm up to now. So we have more clustered thunderstorms. I think we're just kind of playing the same game. It's 7:06 right now, so maybe around 8 o'clock. We still have clustered thunderstorms picking up Clinton, Butler, Appleton, Rich Hill, Pleasanton. You guys know that. So let's move past 8 o'clock. There is 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Cool. So I can take back what I said. Maybe by 10 it's not so much. Here comes the next wave. We're working on like 11 p.m. right now. Make sure that you guys can see this, but midnight maybe is the biggest push of the most widespread stuff. I see clustered thunderstorms up in the Kansas City area, heavy downpours, and then it starts like to pick up again around Drexel, Butler, Pleasanton, Rich Hill, Fort Scott. So the good news is I don't see the same number of those quasi-linear organizations. Doesn't mean they can't happen. I mean, stuff like this can turn quasi-linear in no time, but at least it's not jumping out there big time on data. That's a good thing. So I mean, these are going to be strong thunderstorms still. We're talking about wind, especially with anything like this that might get going, and this is talking again about 11 to midnight. So maybe that's our second wave. We'll start paying attention after 9 for sure. Maybe 10 is kind of quiet, but there's 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. So it could be noisy. There's 1 a.m. once again. Thunderstorms scattered from Warrensburg to Butler, Fort Scott, Pittsburgh, Parsons. So 11 to 1 for our second round. Plan on heavy downpours. How strong will they still be? So here comes another little wave. You won't be done at, what time is this? This is 5 a.m. So we shouldn't be talking about anything severe, but we could still have some heavy downpours. There's 5, 6, 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. So wow, we're gonna get some serious rainfall out of this, y'all. So anyway, we'll get out of forecast data. We'll go back over to live radar. Look what I think is happening down here. Okay, so good news. I do believe this has just been allowed to expire. So if I get some confirmation on that, I think so. But it looks a lot better. That's for sure. It is still a strong thunderstorm. It's going to impact, yep, same areas. But I don't think it's severe warned right now, unless we're just having a data gap. It'll correct itself in a minute if it is, but I don't think so. That may be allowed to drop off. That's awesome. So we'll do a little bit more poking around on it. There's still, I don't know. I don't know if there's any hail in it. Let's double check. Maybe a little bit. Awesome. So it must be on account of I'm not seeing quite the wind gusts that I was, and I'm not seeing the hail that I was down here. So awesome. That has dropped off a little bit. Everything else is just strong right now. Look at these strong thunderstorms again, finishing up over the I-49 corridor between Butler and where? Geez, all the way to Nevada. As these push off toward the northeast, but nothing severe warned right now. So that's going to be the way of it. I think there is a little bit of a break coming. I just wouldn't be surprised if there are these small clustered thunderstorms. It's the really all by themselves discrete ones that we would worry about the most. But if we get those over the next couple of hours, not too surprised. I will keep watching things, y'all. I really want to thank the people that make all this possible. So let's talk about Kyle at State Line Group over in Hume. It's kind of cool, all the stuff that they can do and the equipment that they have. Check them out on their Facebook page. They have storm shelters. I probably should have said that earlier in the live stream, right? They have storm shelters, but get on their Facebook page, you can see one. And they can haul gravel, they can move dirt, they can do some awesome stuff. So give them a shout out. Also sponsoring tonight's severe weather coverage. If we have to get back on here, of course we will. So I do think probably later on tonight, I think we'll just see some strong winds knocking through the area for sure. We'll be talking about those. But as of right now, it is just after 7 p.m. We do have thunderstorms all over the place, but nothing severe warned right now. Just one more time, we do have that tornado Boom, there it goes. We do have that tornado watch out until about 1 a.m. So we'll keep an eye on things until at least then. So I think it's a good dinner break for me. We'll see if I'm allowed. If there's a warning, for sure, I'll be jumping back on. That's generally what I'll be paying attention to. So if there is a warning, otherwise, I think we have just a little bit of a break. Things start ramping back up tonight. We're talking about predominantly a wind threat. Can't rule out some small spin-up tornadoes, but I think we're talking about wind, and of course hail again later tonight. So, all right, hit the right button this time. Let's take a little break, and I will talk to you later. See ya.